I couldn't stop smiling as I walked up to Emily's apartment. My heart was racing and I kept rehearsing the words in my head. Emily, will you marry me? It sounded perfect every time I said it silently, but saying it out loud? That was a whole different level of terror. Hey, you're early, Emily said, opening the door. Her hair fell perfectly over her shoulders, and she smiled like she had no idea how much this moment meant to me. I wanted to surprise you, I said, fumbling with the small box in my pocket. I have something to ask you. Her eyebrows rose. Oh, something serious? I nodded, my palms sweaty. Yes, Emily, we've been together for years. I can't imagine my life without you. I want us to be together forever. Her smile faltered slightly and my stomach dropped. And? I asked, voice shaking. She looked away, biting her lip. I can't. I'm sorry, but I don't see us that way anymore. Wait, what? I felt like someone had punched me. What do you mean? I mean I can't marry you. I just don't feel ready. Maybe we're not right for each other. I laughed nervously, thinking it was some kind of joke. Emily, come on. This isn't funny. I'm serious, she said, her eyes cold now. I've thought about this and it's better we stay like this. Friends maybe. I just can't do it. The words hit me like ice water. I felt my knees weaken. But I love you. I've always loved you. I know, she said softly, almost pitying me. And I'm sorry. You deserve someone who feels the same way. That's just not me. I opened my mouth but nothing came out. My chest ached, my mind spun. Betrayal tasted bitter. I had trusted her completely and she had thrown me away. Emily, why? I thought we were perfect for each other. My voice cracked and she looked away. I just can't, she whispered. I stumbled back, letting the box fall from my hand. The little ring rolled across the floor, forgotten. I wanted to scream, to hit something, to make her feel my pain. Instead I whispered, fine, if that's what you want. She looked at me, surprised by my sudden coldness. I didn't mean to hurt you. You did, I said flatly, turning away. I didn't want her pity. I didn't want her words. I just wanted to disappear. Then Lily appeared in the doorway. She looked younger, innocent, and somehow unshaken by the tension. Hey, are you okay? She asked softly, stepping closer. I will be, I muttered, trying to compose myself. Lily's eyes met mine, and for a moment I felt something different. She wasn't cold, she wasn't prideful. She just cared. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here, she said gently. I nodded, unsure why her words made me feel slightly better. Emily stood silently, awkward and uncomfortable. Thanks, Lily, I said quietly. Really? She smiled faintly, shy but warm. No problem. I hope you and Emily figure things out. I forced a small laugh. Yeah, figure things out. As I walked out, my mind was a storm. Betrayal, humiliation, confusion, all tangled up inside me. But there was one thought I couldn't shake. Emily had rejected me and I would never forget that. Somewhere deep down, I knew this wasn't the end, it was the beginning of something else. Something that would change everything. And for some reason, Lily's kind eyes haunted me longer than Emily's rejection did. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying Emily's words over and over. I just can't. Maybe we're not right for each other. Every time I heard it in my head, it cut deeper. Dude, you've been quiet all day. What's going on? Jake asked, flopping onto my chair. He always knew when something was wrong. Nothing. Just tired, I muttered, looking away. Jake raised an eyebrow. Come on. You've been acting like a ghost. Did she finally dump you for good? I sighed, my chest tightening. Yeah, she did. Jake leaned back, rubbing his face. Man, I'm sorry. But hey, you'll get through it. You always do. I gave a hollow laugh. Easy for you to say. You're not the one standing there, proposing, and getting told you're not good enough. Not good enough? Jake scoffed. She's the one losing out, bro. Don't let her arrogance break you. Arrogance. That word kept echoing in my mind. Emily's smile, the way she always had to be in control, the way she flaunted her life without a second thought. I had been blind. Later, at lunch with my family, Mom asked, Honey, are you eating? You've barely touched your food. I'm fine, I said, stabbing at the salad. My thoughts weren't on lunch, they were on Emily. Dad frowned. You don't seem fine. What happened? I shook my head. It's nothing. Just a girl thing. Mom gave me a knowing look but didn't push. They didn't need the details. That evening, I ran into Lily outside her house. She waved shyly. Hey, you okay? I shrugged. I'm surviving. You're not smiling, she said softly. You never smile like this. I chuckled bitterly. Not much to smile about. Lily's eyes softened. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Her presence calmed me unexpectedly. I felt a strange mix of comfort and guilt. I was thinking things I shouldn't, but she was innocent. Still, there was that spark, the first thought of revenge that crept into my mind. What's that look for? She asked, tilting her head. Nothing, I lied, shaking my head. Just thinking. Thinking about her? She asked gently. I tensed. Yeah, Emily. She humiliated me today. Made me feel small. Lily nodded slowly. People like that, they don't realize what they're losing. Don't let it eat you alive. Her words lingered. Don't let it eat me alive. But the fire inside me was already growing. I wanted her to feel some of this humiliation. I didn't want to hurt anyone else, but Emily, she had to pay somehow. I don't know what to do, I admitted quietly. You'll figure it out, Lily said. Just don't lose yourself in the anger. I nodded, but as I walked home, my mind raced. I would survive. And maybe there was a way for her arrogance to face consequences. Jake called later. So, got any bright ideas or just wallowing? Not wallowing, I said slowly. Planning. Figuring things out. Careful, man, he warned. Don't let revenge change you into someone you're not. I'll be careful, I said, though a small, dangerous smile formed. But she needs to learn, somehow. And for the first time since the rejection, the thought didn't feel entirely wrong. I saw Lily at her window again, watering the small garden in front of her house. I waved and she smiled, that soft, innocent smile that made the world feel slightly less heavy. Hey, I said when I got closer. Hi, she replied, brushing a stray strand of hair behind her ear. Did you want to come in? I hesitated. Yeah, if it's okay. She nodded and opened the door. Come on in. Mom's out shopping, so it's just us. The living room smelled faintly of vanilla and freshly baked bread. Lily gestured to the sofa. Sit. I made some tea. Thanks, I said, taking the cup she handed me. You always this thoughtful? She laughed softly. I guess. Someone has to balance Emily. I raised an eyebrow. Balance Emily? You know, keep her arrogance from completely taking over the world, Lily said, rolling her eyes. She's difficult sometimes. I blinked, surprised. You feel that too? Lily shrugged. Of course. It's not easy being the good one in the family. People expect me to smile, stay quiet, and not cause trouble. Meanwhile, Emily just floats above it all. I felt a twinge of admiration. I always thought she was confident. I didn't realize she could be unbearable. She's beautiful, yes, Lily admitted softly, but prideful. She doesn't see how her words or actions affect others. I sipped my tea thinking. That actually makes sense. I felt it firsthand today. Lily looked at me with concern. You don't have to stay hurt alone. You know that, right? I know, I said, managing a weak smile. But talking to someone like you, it's easier than I expected. She tilted her head. Why? I hesitated. I don't know. You listen without judgment. You actually care. It's rare. Lily blushed faintly. I do care. I mean, you're going through something and I can see it. You don't have to carry it alone. I laughed bitterly. If only Emily understood the meaning of caring. But talking to you feels like a small relief. A little escape. Lily's gaze softened. I'm glad. Really? I leaned back. You know, sometimes I think about revenge. I can't lie. The thought crosses my mind. Her eyebrows shot up. Revenge? Yeah, I admitted, voice low. Being humiliated like I was, it leaves a mark. I want her to feel it somehow. Not cruelly, but enough to understand what she did to me. Lily frowned. I don't know if hurting her is the right answer. I know, I said quickly. I'm conflicted. I don't want to become someone I hate. But she needs a reality check. She nodded slowly. I understand. You just be careful. Don't lose yourself in it. I will try, I said, though a small smile tugged at my lips. But you know, it's hard to think about anything else. Lily leaned forward, curious. Does Emily know you feel this way? I shook my head. No, she has no idea. And I intend to keep it that way, for now. There was a comfortable silence. I realized I was starting to trust her, confide in her. That was dangerous, and yet it felt natural. She sipped her tea. I'm glad you came today. Sometimes talking, it makes the weight a little lighter. I nodded. Yeah. I feel lighter. A little. Lily smiled, shy but warm. Good. That's what friends, or allies, are for, right? I chuckled, letting the word sink in. Allies, huh? I could get used to that. Her eyes sparkled. Just don't make me regret it. I won't, I said, though the thought of using her as a sounding board, and maybe more, lingered in my mind. Not yet, I told myself. Not yet. For the first time since Emily's rejection, I felt like maybe someone genuinely had my back. And it wasn't Emily. I saw Emily at that gallery opening again, laughing with her friends like she owned the world. She didn't see me at first, and part of me was relieved, but another part burned with anger. Hey, you made it, one of her friends, Claire, said, spotting me. I forced a smile. Yeah, had to see the exhibit. Emily turned, her smile sharp, flawless. Oh, look who decided to show up. You're late to your own life, I see. I clenched my jaw but didn't respond. I wasn't here to fight. Not yet. Later I caught up with Jake over coffee. She's unbearable, I muttered, stirring my drink. Welcome to my world, Jake said with a smirk. But dude, why are you letting her get under your skin? You're smarter than this. I know, I admitted, but every time I see her, it fuels something inside me. I can't stop thinking about making her feel what I felt. You're talking revenge, Jake said carefully. That's a dangerous path. I know, I said, but I can't let her arrogance slide. I need balance, and I think I know how. Jake leaned back. You mean Lily? I nodded slowly. Yes, she trusts me. She cares. And I care for her too. But if I do this, it's going to hurt Emily. She won't see it coming. Jake raised an eyebrow. Careful, man. Don't confuse affection with manipulation. I'm careful, I said, though my mind raced with possibilities. But she needs to see humility. She needs a lesson in pride. The next week, I visited Lily under the pretense of helping her with her little garden project. She was cheerful, humming as she pruned flowers. You're early, she said, surprised. I wanted to help, I said, kneeling beside her. I thought, maybe we could spend time together. She smiled softly. I like that. You always notice the small things. I felt a pang of guilt. I'm using her, and I care about her. Lily tilted her head. You've been thinking a lot lately. About Emily? I paused. Yeah, I've been thinking. A lot. Don't let her get to you, Lily said gently. You're too good to waste on someone who can't see it. Her words warmed me. I knew she was right. But the thought of revenge, of teaching Emily a lesson, wouldn't leave my mind. That night I called my father. Dad, what would you do if someone wronged you, but subtly? Emotionally, socially, without hurting anyone physically? He chuckled softly. Careful, son. That's a dangerous game. But sometimes life teaches lessons in unexpected ways. Smart people make their own moves quietly without losing their integrity. Integrity? I murmured. I'm trying to hold on to it. You can, he said. Just remember who you are. Don't let anger make you someone else. Use it wisely, like a tool, not a weapon. I hung up and stared at the ceiling. A tool, not a weapon. That's exactly what I was going to do. Marry Lily, strengthen my own life, and let Emily's pride collapse naturally. The next day, Emily strutted past me at the cafe, tossing her hair and smiling at someone else. Oh look, Mr. Heartbroken, she said mockingly. I smiled faintly, calm on the outside, storming on the inside. Enjoy your coffee, Emily. She laughed, and her friends echoed the sound. I felt the fire ignite fully. I whispered to myself, soon, Emily. Soon you'll understand what it feels like to be powerless while the world moves on without you. And for the first time I didn't feel guilty. Not entirely. Lily's laughter, her trust, her warmth, they reminded me who I could still be. And Emily was about to learn a lesson she wouldn't forget. I waited outside Lily's apartment, my hands trembling slightly. Calm down, you've done this 100 times in your head, I told myself. But rehearsed words never felt the same in reality. Lily opened the door, her expression brightening when she saw me. Hey, you're early. I wanted to talk, I said, forcing my nerves into a steady tone. Can we sit? Of course, she said, leading me to the sofa. Her warmth made me hesitate. Don't lose yourself now, I reminded myself. I took a deep breath. Lily, I care about you. More than I probably should. I want to be with you. I want us to be together properly. I want to marry you. Her eyes widened, mouth slightly open. Wait, what? Marry me? I nodded, swallowing hard. I know it's sudden, but I can't ignore how I feel. You're kind, honest, everything I ever wanted. And I paused, conflicted. I can't tell her everything yet. And I trust you more than anyone else. She blinked, stunned. I don't know what to say. This is a lot. I know, I said softly. And I understand if you need time. But I had to tell you. I can't keep pretending these feelings don't exist. Lily looked down, twisting her hands nervously. I care about you too. I always have. But marriage? That's serious. I know, I said, leaning slightly forward. And I'm serious. I've thought about this for weeks. I'm not asking because it's easy. I'm asking because I can't imagine my life without you. She looked up, eyes glistening. You really mean that? Every word, I said, my voice steady now. I don't expect an answer right away. Just think about it, please. Lily hesitated, biting her lip. You're different from anyone I've ever met. You care in ways Emily never did. You listen, you notice, it matters. I nodded, relief flooding me. I care because you're worth it. You make me want to be better. She swallowed, a small smile tugging at her lips. I think I feel the same. I've always trusted you. I trust you now. My chest tightened. Trust, she trusts me, and she has no idea about the other part. I pushed the thought down. Then, will you marry me? Her eyes widened again, but she nodded slowly. Yes, I will. Really? I asked, trying to mask my excitement with calm. Yes, she said firmly, voice trembling slightly. I trust you, and I want this too. I exhaled, a mixture of relief and lingering guilt twisting inside me. Thank you, truly. I promise I'll make you happy. Lily's smile brightened, and she reached for my hand. I believe you. I felt a pang of fear. Can I really do this without hurting her later? But then I glanced at her, her innocent trust, her warm eyes, and I made a silent vow. I'd protect her from all of this, even if Emily found out. Speaking of Emily, I couldn't help but notice her at the cafe later, lingering across the street. Her eyes narrowed as they landed on us. She didn't know what we'd just decided, but suspicion was already in her gaze. She's watching, I whispered to myself. Lily glanced at me, following my gaze. Emily? I nodded. Yeah, she might notice things changing between us. But don't worry, I'll handle it. She squeezed my hand, her trust and warmth anchoring me. I'm scared, she admitted softly. So am I said honestly. But together, we can face it. We'll be fine. She smiled faintly. Okay, together. As I left that evening, I felt a mixture of triumph and guilt. I had Lily's heart, and I genuinely cared about her. But the plan I had in mind for Emily loomed over me. I had to proceed carefully. For Lily's sake and for my own. Yet beneath it all, a dangerous thought whispered. Emily's pride would finally have a reckoning. And I was going to make sure of it. The day had finally arrived. I stood at the altar, hands trembling slightly, heart racing, not from nerves but anticipation. Lily looked radiant, her smile so pure it made the world seem brighter. You look beautiful, I whispered as she approached. She blushed, eyes shining. You look calm. Are you sure you're okay? I'm sure, I said, though a flicker of guilt danced inside me. This is for you, Lily, and for Emily too. The guests murmured as the ceremony began. I noticed Emily standing at the back, arms crossed, lips pressed into a thin line. Her friends whispered around her, sneaking glances at us. I caught Emily's gaze for a split second. Her shock was unmistakable. What's wrong with her? Lily asked softly, clutching my hand. She's just surprised, I said, forcing calm. Try not to worry about it. Emily's friend Claire whispered something, and Emily's eyes narrowed. She didn't like the situation. That much was obvious. When the officiant asked if I took Lily to be my lawfully wedded wife, I felt my stomach tighten. I do, I said, voice steady. I do, Lily replied, radiant. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Whispers. Cameras clicked. I could see Emily's composure beginning to crack. She tried to smile, but it faltered, leaving a tension in the air. She can't be serious, Emily muttered under her breath. I caught her words, and a faint, dark thrill ran through me. She's shocked. She's losing control. After the ceremony, during the reception, people congratulated us. Lily was glowing, genuinely happy, laughing with friends and family. I noticed Emily lurking at the edge, pretending to chat but clearly unable to hide her discomfort. "Wow, she's happy," I whispered to Jake, who was standing beside me. "Yeah," he said quietly. "And Emily, she looks like she's about to explode." "You're playing with fire, man?" "She asked for this," I muttered. "I didn't make her do anything." "But the timing is ironic, isn't it?" Lily laughed softly. "You seem satisfied. Is this about Emily?" I looked at her, guilt twisting in my chest. "Partly. But mostly, it's about us. You're happy. And that's what matters." She smiled, resting her head briefly against my shoulder. "I'm happy. You really thought of everything, didn't you?" "I tried," I said, though my thoughts kept drifting to Emily watching from afar. She had been prideful, untouchable, and now she was forced to witness a life she couldn't control slipping past her. A few guests whispered and nudged each other, sneaking glances at Emily. "Did you see her face?" someone murmured. "She's completely frozen." Emily caught my eyes across the room, her pride cracking. Her lips trembled. I could see it, her self-assured mask crumbling. "Don't let it consume you," Jake murmured. "You're walking a fine line between justice and something darker." "I know," I said softly. "But seeing her like this, it's strangely satisfying. Not cruel, just fitting." Lily squeezed my hand. "I trust you," she said. "I know you wouldn't let anyone hurt me." Her trust grounded me. I couldn't let the thrill of revenge overshadow the love I felt for her. "I won't," I promised. Emily's whispers grew louder as more guests noticed her reactions. Phones clicked, some recording, some snapping pictures. Social media would be buzzing by tonight. I imagined her scrolling through, forced to watch a life she could never control. I felt a twist of guilt, mingled with satisfaction. I never wanted to hurt her like this, I thought. But she brought it upon herself with her pride. Lily laughed again, completely unaware of my conflicted thoughts. "You look different," she said. "More confident." "I feel different," I admitted. "Stronger. And more careful at the same time. I have to be." Emily's face hardened, but the cracks remained. Her friends whispered urgently, clearly trying to comfort her, but nothing could erase the shock. As I raised a glass to toast Lily, I caught Emily's eyes once more. The vulnerability, the humiliation. It was subtle but unmistakable. Justice, quiet and precise, had begun to take shape. And yet, beside me, Lily's joy reminded me why I had to tread carefully. I couldn't let this moment destroy her trust or taint what we had. So I smiled, lifted my glass and whispered quietly, "To us, and to the life we'll build together." Life had changed. With Lily by my side, everything felt sharper, brighter, and more in my control. I could see opportunities I'd ignored before, and I was seizing them slowly but surely. "You've been on fire lately," said Alex, my colleague, as we reviewed the latest project results. "Clients are noticing, and so are the higher-ups. You're moving up fast." "I know," I said, smiling, though a faint shadow of guilt lingered. I want to make the most of it while I can." Alex nodded knowingly. "Smart. Keep this momentum." That evening, I met Lily at our favorite cafe. "You're glowing," I told her. She laughed, her joy infectious. "You're glowing too. Something's different. You seem confident. Happy." "I am," I admitted. "Having you makes everything better." She reached for my hand. "I love seeing you like this." Yet, across the city, Emily's world was quietly unraveling. I heard through the grapevine, rumors, subtle jabs, missed opportunities. Her project at work had been handed to someone else. A mutual friend had started avoiding her. Even her carefully curated social appearances were met with indifferent whispers. One evening, Emily confronted me unexpectedly. "I heard about the promotion," she said, arms crossed, voice strained. You're moving ahead faster than I expected." I shrugged, keeping my tone casual. "Just doing my job. Maybe you should focus on yours." Her face tightened. "Don't be smug. You don't know what you're doing." "I know exactly what I'm doing," I said calmly. "And it seems to be working." She narrowed her eyes, fury mingling with frustration. "This isn't over." "Of course not," I said quietly. "Life doesn't end with a single defeat. But maybe learn from it." Lily noticed my tension later. "Emily again?" she asked softly. "Yeah," I said. "She's struggling. It's subtle, but I see it. Missed opportunities, strained friendships, little cracks in her armor." "Are you happy about that?" Lily asked, uncertain. "I'm conflicted," I admitted. I don't enjoy her pain. But there's a strange satisfaction in seeing someone who hurt you face consequences naturally. She squeezed my hand. As long as it doesn't change you. I know, I said, though the question lingered in my mind. Am I really in the right, or am I just feeding my pride? The next week, Emily tried to regain control. She arrived at a networking event with Mark, her new romantic interest. I recognized the tension immediately. Mark was attentive to her, but his eyes occasionally flicked toward me. Emily's lips tightened, frustration clear. Don't think this will change anything, she hissed as she passed by. I'm not thinking about you, I said quietly, keeping my composure. I'm focusing on what's in front of me. Mark, noticing the interaction, whispered something to Emily and she flinched. I smiled faintly. Not because I enjoyed her embarrassment, but because power had shifted. Subtly, undeniably. Later, Lily leaned against me, observing a group of friends chatting. You've changed, she said softly. Not in a bad way, but you're stronger, smarter. I've had to, I admitted. Life teaches you lessons, sometimes the hard way. And Emily, she taught me one I won't forget. She looked at me, eyes warm. And we're in this together, right? Yes, I said firmly. Together. Always. The day ended with quiet reflection. Emily's pride was cracking, but not because I forced it, because life, circumstances, and her own arrogance were catching up to her. I felt the delicate balance between justice and indulgence, and it was intoxicating. Yet, as I looked at Lily, her trust and joy anchoring me, I reminded myself, this isn't about revenge anymore. It's about us. It has to be. The power shift was real. I could feel it. And with Lily by my side, nothing could stop what we were building, carefully, deliberately, and justly. I saw her again today, Emily. Not laughing, not poised, but fragile, almost invisible in the corner of the room. Her friends were distant, some avoiding her gaze entirely. It was subtle, but I noticed every twitch, every glance. Emily, I heard a familiar trembling voice behind me. She spotted me and froze. Her confident mask cracked instantly. I didn't expect to see you here, she said, voice unsteady. Neither did I expect to see you like this, I replied softly, keeping my tone neutral. Her lips pressed into a thin line. I need to talk to you. Alone. I shook my head slightly. There's nothing to talk about. What's done is done. But she began, her voice cracking. I never meant to hurt you. I held up a hand, stopping her. Emily, stop. I know you didn't think about the consequences before. I trusted you once and you let me fall. Her eyes filled with tears. I was proud. I thought I could, control everything. I didn't mean to humiliate you. I looked at her, taking in the vulnerability. She was human now, fragile, stripped of her arrogance. I'm not saying this to make you feel worse, but actions have consequences. And you've learned that now. She flinched slightly. Please, can we fix this? I'll do anything. Anything. I asked quietly. You want to manipulate the situation now, after all that happened? Do you really think it works that way? Her shoulders slumped. I thought maybe I could apologize. Make amends. You've had chances, I said gently. I can forgive Emily. But that doesn't mean things go back to how they were. You can't undo the past. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I see that now. I was cruel, blind, prideful. And she broke off, choking on the words. I felt a strange tug in my chest. There was relief in seeing her humbled, yes, but also sorrow. She had been human all along, flawed like the rest of us. You don't have to say more, I said softly. Just take this as a lesson. Let go of the pride, learn to see others, really see them. That's the real growth. She looked at me with raw honesty. I wish I had understood sooner. You didn't deserve any of this. I know, I said, forcing a calm smile. But now, you'll have to live with the lessons. And maybe one day you'll understand why it happened. She nodded, wiping her cheeks. I'm sorry. Truly. I didn't respond immediately. I simply observed her, noting every small sign of change. Humility. Vulnerability. The cracks where pride once stood firm. Later, Lily joined me, her hand resting lightly on mine. You okay? She asked softly. I don't know, I admitted. I feel satisfied, but also guilty. Seeing her like this, it's strange. She squeezed my hand. You didn't hurt her unnecessarily. You just let life take its course. And she's facing herself now, I nodded. I know. But it's hard to feel nothing. I wanted justice, not cruelty, but there's a fine line, isn't there? It's okay, Lily said gently. You've always had a good heart. You didn't let revenge change who you are. Her words calmed me. I hope so, I murmured. I hope this doesn't turn me into someone I'll regret being. Look at me, Lily said, lifting my chin with her hand. You're the man I trust. You're strong and kind. Don't doubt that. I took a deep breath, letting the weight of the past week settle. Emily's downfall wasn't mine to celebrate. It was hers to experience, a lesson earned. And yet, having Lily by my side, her trust, her love, it reminded me why I had chosen this path. I think I'm ready to move forward, I whispered. With you. She smiled softly. We'll face it together. Always. I glanced back at Emily one last time before leaving. She was sitting quietly, lost in thought, humbler than I had ever seen her. And I realized something. My journey wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about growth, for both of us in different ways. And as I held Lily's hand walking away, I felt the first real sense of peace I'd had since the rejection, knowing that justice and compassion could coexist, and that some lessons, though painful, were worth enduring. I found Emily alone in the quiet park, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows. Her arms were crossed, but her shoulders slumped, a stark contrast to the woman I once knew. Emily, I said, approaching slowly. She looked up, eyes wary. What do you want? To talk, I said, keeping my voice calm. About us. About everything that happened. She scoffed lightly. I don't see the point. You've moved on, haven't you? Yes, I admitted. With Lily. But this isn't about that. It's about closure and understanding. Emily looked down, fiddling with her fingers. Closure? Understanding? You think this will fix anything? I don't know if it will, I said honestly. But I need to say it. You rejected me once, coldly, confidently, like my feelings didn't matter. And it hurt. More than I could put into words. Her eyes filled with tears, but she blinked them back. I was proud. I didn't think. You didn't think about me, I said softly. About how your words, your pride, could destroy someone who trusted you completely. I know, she whispered, voice cracking. I see that now. I was wrong. I never realized how much I hurt you. I needed you to understand that your actions have consequences, I said, my chest tightening. Not as punishment, but as reality. Life moves on whether you're ready or not. Emily nodded slowly, tears slipping freely now. I lost more than I knew. My friends, my image, I took them for granted. I took you for granted. You did, I said, letting the words settle. And it's humbling to see someone face the truth. I'm not saying I wanted it to happen, but it had to. For both of us to grow. I don't know how to make it right, she admitted. I want to apologize, but I don't even know where to start. Start by understanding yourself, I said. Look at your pride, your arrogance, your choices. Learn from it. That's how you repair anything. From here on out, that's all you can do. She nodded, a shaky breath escaping. I never imagined I'd feel this humbled, vulnerable. It's part of life, I said gently. Being human means making mistakes, facing consequences, and growing stronger. I've grown too. Hurt teaches you, but it can't destroy you if you let it guide you. Emily's voice trembled. I hope you're happy. With Lily. You deserve happiness. I am, I said softly. And that's why this matters. Seeing you face reality, admitting your mistakes, it's painful but necessary. It closes a chapter that needed closure. She swallowed hard. I thank you. Not just for saying this, but for showing me how much I lost. I'll never forget it. And I'll try to be better. I nodded. That's all I needed to hear. Not for revenge, not for pride, but for understanding. And for both of us to heal. Emily finally looked at me, fully humbled. I'm sorry. Truly. I know, I said. It's over now. We both move forward, stronger, wiser. That's the lesson. Lily stepped forward quietly, her hand on my arm. Are you okay? She asked softly. I am, I said, glancing at her with a small smile. Seeing this, it's closure. And seeing Emily accept it, I feel free. She nodded, eyes warm. I'm glad. And I'm proud of you. Of us. I took a deep breath, looking at Emily one last time. She was broken, humbled, but humanized. And I realized, revenge had ended not with cruelty but with understanding. That's how we truly healed. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the city. Lily and I sat on our balcony, hands intertwined, enjoying the quiet. "You've changed," she said softly, leaning her head on my shoulder. "Not just outwardly, but inside. You seem at peace." "I am," I admitted. "It's been a long journey, but I finally feel it." Seeing Emily face herself, it helped me realize what really matters. She smiled. "And that's us, right? Together, honest and stronger than before." "Yes," I said, tightening my grip on her hand. "I've learned so much about pride, love, and resilience, about what it means to trust and to be trusted." Lily tilted her head, her eyes warm. "Do you regret anything?" I shook my head. "No, not really. Every step, every choice, it shaped us, shaped me. Even the pain, the anger, it taught me patience and strength. And you were there through all of it." She smiled faintly. "I was scared at times, you know. Scared that you'd lose yourself in everything that happened." "I almost did," I admitted. "But I had to remember what mattered most. Not revenge, not pride, but love, respect, and growth. And having you help me stay grounded." Lily laughed softly. "Well, you've done a great job staying grounded and powerful at the same time." I chuckled. "Powerful, yes, in some ways, but not over others. Just over myself." "Emily?" Lily asked quietly. "She's rebuilding," I said. "She's humbled, learning from her mistakes. Not broken, just humanized. And I think she's beginning to understand life isn't about arrogance or control." "I'm glad," Lily said. "You didn't want to hurt her, you just let things unfold naturally." "That's all any of us can do," I said. "Sometimes life teaches lessons in ways we don't expect. And seeing her growth, even quietly, gives me closure." We watched the city lights flicker on, reflecting the calm in both of us. "Do you think people really change?" Lily asked. "I do," I said slowly. "But it takes humility, reflection, and time. Emily, she's starting that process. And I've learned the same about myself." She squeezed my hand. "And us? Are we really free of the past?" "I think so," I said with certainty. "We've faced our challenges, our anger, our pride, and we chose love, trust, and understanding instead. That's true freedom." Lily smiled wider, resting her head against me again. "Then I guess we did it. Together." "Yes," I whispered. "Together. And that's what matters most. Not revenge, not social pride, but the people we choose to love, support, and grow with." She laughed softly. "You sound like a philosopher now." "I feel like one," I admitted. "Life's lessons, they shape you. But the real victory is staying human even when life tests you." We sat in silence for a while, letting the quiet speak. The city buzzed below, oblivious to our journey, but that didn't matter. I looked at Lily and felt a profound sense of peace. I've learned that karma isn't about punishment. It's about learning, humility, and reflection. Emily's path is her own. Mine is here with you." She smiled, eyes glistening. "And I'll be here always. We've earned this, haven't we?" "Yes," I said, heart full. "We've earned it. And now we move forward." As the sun dipped below the horizon, I felt life fully transformed. Not just socially, not just emotionally, but morally, spiritually, and deeply personally. And for the first time in years, I felt free.